Today I'm going to work on modifying a couple of my lanyards. I have a 2-in-1 lanyard and also I have a regular lanyard. The reason I want to modify them is because they're both the same color and sometimes I can get kind of confused on which one I want to use. So what I'll go through the different steps of how I'm going to modify it, and I'll take you with me. Let's get to it. So the other day I went to the lawnmower shop where they have climbing gear, and I bought this rope. It's called Ash. Now I'm thinking this is a way different color and I'm not going to confuse my 2-in-1 with my regular lanyard. While I was there, I noticed that on the shelf they had a chisel, and I know they're getting hard to find, so I just had to get this chisel, and I thought it would work great because on my regular lanyard I have this boat clip that's acting as a chisel. So I decided that I'll probably, with my regular lanyard, I'll make it a little bit lighter. So that's where I'll put this chisel on. And instead of using this setup here for my 2-in-1, it's like I have a pulley, and in order for my pulley to work good, I got to take this off, and then I have to switch it out to the other side here, and clip it back in, and then connect it to my carabiner. It makes the process a little bit more to get the tending part on either side of this pressic. Plus, on this 2-in-1, this pressic's like a 30 cord. And I don't like so many wraps because what happens is it kind of gets seized up. But on my regular lanyard is a 24 cord. So I'm going to flip-flop those out. I'm going to add this chisel to this one. And also for the older lanyard, I'm going to put an aluminum clip. It'll work out nice. The hole here is a little bit smaller than the hole here, so I may not have a thimble, but I think it'll work out well. So the next thing I'll do is I'll start working on my 2-in-1. I've already whipped the end of this side here. So what I'll do is I'll just show you how I whip a simple whip. It's easy to do. You just need a contractor string and just to whip it around. I'll show you how to do that next. So what I need for this is just a little like pinching pliers, a little tiny knife, got my little small knife here, and the contractor cord. So with this, I'm going to go about maybe around an arm's length. And what I'm going to do is I'll tie a knot here because this cord likes to like fray really fast. So let me tie a real quick knot here so it doesn't really fray on me. Get this out of the way. And what I'm going to do is cut it at that point and then probably melt that off. So let's see here. All right. So now I'm going to cut it right where that knot is. See if I could do it without. Okay. Let me see if hopefully in the park it'll work well here. All right, just melt this end real quick. That's not the end I'm going to use, but here, this end here. So melt this off real good. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'll go to the end where I want the whip to be, and I'll make a bite in the rope or the string. I'll place it on top of my rope, and then I'll get the longer end and I'll cross it over. So I'm going to do continual wraps over this small piece, and I'm going to do my best to make it really tight. So every pass I'm going to do right next to the other, and I'm just going to wrap it as close as I can to that where it looks really nice. Okay. Now some people like to put glue on this, and you can. Some people like to melt it a little extra, but for me I just make it as tight as I can, and it actually lasts quite a while. I've had ropes that I've done this to and they've never frayed on me from the life of that rope. So this is just a simple one. Now what I'll do is throw this piece in here. See this? I'm going to throw the tail through the bite. Okay, want it to be in there. Let me see, I threw it the wrong spot. Hang on. Got to throw it in here. Okay, and I'm going to pull it down on this side here. Keeps on hanging up just to get it out of my way. Now with my pliers, I'm going to grab this end and I'm going to pull this bite through, and it'll bring this rope inside and cinch it up tight right here. So I'm going to bite it, do a twist, pull it. See how that goes in like that? Now I'm going to pull it a little bit more so that piece goes deeper into it. Let's see, I got to wrap it more. Okay, that's probably tight enough. So now it's like a knot. It's not going to go anywhere. So now I'll get the end of it and I'll clean it up. Right here, just a little slice. And when you're doing this side, just make sure you don't get it, cut your rope. I'm going to get close and then slice it. There you go. Get this out of the way. And then I'll just do a little melt, just very lightly, just barely touch it, and it'll melt it a little. Try to do a little bit right here. There. You don't want to do it too much because you don't want to burn your rope. But anyways, this is an end, and you should never have a problem with that. Okay? So the next thing I'll do is I'll work on changing these components over to this. So now I'll start just with this clip here. I've already got a thimble on the clip. I have another Presic thimble here. I'll get this, I'll take it off. But I'm going to put it back on my 2-in-1 lanyard. I just like having it as an option. So let me take this off. I'll set this to the side. I'm going to undo this knot. It's a double fisherman's, and I'm going to do the same. I'll put a double fisherman's on the new rope that I plan on using. So take that off. Now see, it's already having the thimble on it, so I don't have to put it on. But if I had a separate thimble, you just put it on through that with this slight slit right here. So what I'm going to do is I'll feed the rope through. And then I'll get enough to do a double fisherman's. So sometimes you got to do a little more. The main goal on this one is your tail should be about 3 inches, and you're set. You need 5 times the diameter for your tail. So I wrapped it around twice, send it back through. Now here's the tail that I want to be around 3 inches. So I'm going to snug it up. That's about the size of a tail that I want. Okay, and now what I'm going to do, I'll throw the thimble in. And now I'm going to bring this knot back up to the thimble. Okay, I'm going to rotate this a little bit here. It's better if I rotate that. Okay, now I'll snug it up. Try not to put my hand in the way too much. All right. So one side done. Then I might as well just throw the thimble back on while I'm at it. Now this goes 1, 2, and then 3. I'll leave this here. I'll tuck it here. Now I'll do the other side. Same situation, really simple. And I like the way the tail with the double fisherman's goes right alongside of your line, is parallel, and it doesn't really ever for me get in the way. It is kind of bulky, so if you don't like bulky stuff, then termination knots aren't the best for you, but I've never had issues. So I throw it back inside. Now I'm going to do the double fisherman's. So you wrap downward back toward the clip. 1, 2, 2, then send it back through itself. Make your, try not to get my hand in the way. You make your 3-inch tail. Okay, there I go. That's what I want for the tail. Now I'll throw the thimble back in. I'll hold it in place and I'll pull this to it. I lock it in. All right, let me rotate that a little. All right. All right. Second side done, and it looks pretty darn good. So now I'm going to take this press-it cord off, and then I'll switch it with this other one from my regular lanyard. So maybe I'll just take this one off first, because this one is a 24, and it's smaller than in length than the other one. And I've been having troubles when I am using the 2-in-1, because I have the 3 wrap, 6 in total, 6 wraps, and then it kind of seizes up. So with this, I think I'll do this one instead, and I'm going to use this brass clip. Because I think, so how when I'm using this, in order for me to get the pulley to this side, I've got to take this completely off, right? And it means I take this completely off, and then I put the pulley on this side, and then I connect, and then I put this in here. Now I'm ready to move it this way. Okay, having the regular press-it, you can use it in any direction, but it's kind of a process using this. So I think this will be a better fit for my 2-in-1, and I'll show you after I connect it why I think so. So this cord here is a 24. So now we'll get this guy. And instead of a 3 wrap, I'm just going to do a 2. So it'll be 4 wraps in total. So that's 1 and then 2. I'm thinking that it won't bind as much. Okay, there we go. There we are. So this is going to stay with the other lanyard. And then I'm going to use this one still with this lanyard here. Let me take this off. Okay, just take this all the way off. And I'll use this here. It's nice because these eyes don't allow this to slide around, and that's what you want. You don't want your carabiners to side load. Okay, so the clip will go in the center here between the 2 eyes. Right here, in, and then there. Lock it in. I'm going to rotate this around. Okay, almost in place. I rotate it around so when I'm putting this on my D-ring on my saddle, it's a quick clip in, right? Now, to lock this in, now all I got to do with the clip is just, let me get it tight dress and set it. Okay, now I'm going to only have to pull this on this side, and if I want to switch it to the other, I flip it, and I flip it to the other side. And now I'm not going to have to do all that extra adjustment. So I figure this would probably be a nice fit for my 2-in-1. So now I'll just take it off right now. It's not really snug yet, so I'm going to have to put weight on it. There, see if I can get it to hold. I'm going to have to mess with it. Sometimes with new ropes, they don't stick right away. So anyways, this is the 2-in-1, and I think that's complete for now. Oh, there we have it. 2 clips, carabiner, and a boat clip, and a press-it on a 24. So I'll get this one out of the way. Next, I'll work on my regular lanyard by adding the aluminum clip, the chisel, and taking off the 30 cord and putting it on my regular lanyard. Well, next I'll take off this clip because I plan on adding this one. But then I think once I take this off, I'll run my chisel on because it's going to be my detenting device. So let me take this off. Let me see. And then I'll put the chisel on. And then I'll be ready to put it all back together. Once this is off, And so on this one, I think that clip, this hole is way too small for a thimble. So I'm just going to set this off to the side. Then I'll get the chisel. Take it off. See if I can open that thing real quick. And remember, this is not PE, it's only a tending device meant to just tend the hitch. So I'll slide this on. Oops. The reason I'm putting it here, because my tail end is over here. And so my friction hitch should go here, and this should be on the back side of it to tend. And then when I put my weight. So put the chisel in place. Now I'm going to take this guy out. Oops. And add this double locking aluminum beaner or clip here. So I'll set it in the same way. And I'll do the same thing with the double fisherman's. And I'll still have I want about 3 inches of tail when I do it. So 1, 2, third wrap. Okay. Pull that tight. That looks to be about 3 to me. Like as long as my finger, that's good enough. Snug it up. Bring it up to the eye. Now that's set. Okay. Now I'll take this 30 cord off of this 2-in-1 lanyard that I had. And then I'll just tie, I'm not sure. Well, maybe I'll put like a Mitchell con or something. So I'm going to put it above this chisel and in between this clip. So let me see here. I might have to do 4 or 5 wraps. So 1, 2, 3. I go 4. Let me see. Maybe I'll just do like a distal. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I'll just do a distal for now until I figure out what I want more. Okay. All right. There we go. All right. So now that that's set, I'll bring the chisel in place, and then I'll grab my carabiner, slide it through the eye of the French pressic, and then the other through the eye of the pressic cord. All right. And then I'll walk it through the other side. Let me see. Okay. See if I can bring it through. Or maybe I have to leave it because I don't know if that chisel is going to make it. See here. Oops. Oh, you know what I didn't think about? That this is a little bit wide. So I might have to leave it on this side here. Hold on. Let me switch this around. Oops. I think I'll have to leave it here. Yeah. So this will be my tending device here. Well, so I find that this is not going to work because this is too fat. So instead of using this little carabiner, I'll use a more of a round carabiner or oval. It's almost oval. So I'll take this one off and then I'll switch to the other one here. Put it in. You know, chisel, eye. Now this should slide up to the top. There we go. And that's more of what I want to have happen right here. Now, there we go. Now I'll have, this is the side where I'm going to clip on. This is my termination end. This will go to my belt, and this is how I'll tend it. Okay. So it's more of a lighter weight lanyard. I'm going to have to adjust this, make sure it put weight on it. All right. So there we have the 2-in-1 over here, complete. Let me get this out of the way. I've got that 2-in-1 modified. and switched over with that boat clip and the two regular clips. Different colors, so I'm not going to get confused. And I've made this one just a bit lighter, having this aluminum clip, having this 30 cord with a chisel. It's like a little bit nicer of an operation. And then I got a termination in on this side. So now I won't confuse my lanyards. And I think they're good modifications. But at the same time, when I was at the lawnmower shop, I figured now that I freed up this pinto pulley, that I can use it as a secondary climbing system on my saddle. So I just have it on my saddle. So I find now that I'm getting a bit older, what I like to do is I'll use the running end of my line on some climbs, and I'll send that tail over a branch, and then I'll connect to myself on as I'm climbing. So what I think I'll do with this, I'll have this, and I'll probably use this guy as my termination. I have these two components where if I'm climbing, now I'll have a secondary climb system. So it's pretty nice if I were to do that. So if this was over a branch, and this is my tail end, I would bring this to me. I'll make a termination knot here. Okay. All right, so this would be my termination end. And then this side is where I would tie a prusik cord. I don't know if I have one available. Oh, here it is. This is also what I got here. This will be the one that I stick with it. Right here. And so what I'll do, I'll just tie any old knot, maybe Michoacan this time. Okay. All right, get it all set up here. All right. Now with the pinto, you'll probably see if I could tuck them in. I don't know if it's going to fit in here. Let's see. Maybe I'll just do one on the other. One here and one here. I'll grab this carabiner. One through here, and then this one, whoops, right inside here. All right, now this will sit on my belt, and if I need a secondary system, oops, you got to put it on the rope first. Sorry about that. So you throw it on your rope. Throw your eye. Throw it inside. Clip it in. Now this will be on my saddle. So if I need a spare climbing system, I can use this with my tail end. So I have these two guys just sitting on my belt if I need them at any time. Well, there you go. Well, there you have it. My modifications to my 2-in-1 lanyard and my regular lanyard. Really wasn't very expensive. The rope was maybe around 18 bucks. The chisel was around 30 or so. This may have been around 37, this clip. So having just a few added things, I was able to correct my lanyards. I won't be more confused anymore, because this is easy to spot versus this one. I hope this video is helpful and maybe give you guys ideas on what you can do with your lanyards. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Comment, like, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell if you like what we do, and by all means, share our videos. Take care. We'll see you next time.